Hey there, welcome to the Aligned Businesswoman podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Miller, business strategist, mindset coach, and mom who refuses to believe you have to choose between scaling your business and having a life you love. If you've done the vision boards, downloaded the freebies, and still find yourself hustling harder than you want to admit, this show is for you. Each week, I share practical strategies mixed with subconscious rewiring and feminine energetics so you can attract clients, stabilize revenue, and grow your business in a way that actually feels good. Because you deserve consistent income and a life outside your laptop. Let's get into it. Woman, I see you. I understand you. You're hitting your income goals, but it never feels safe. No matter what you try to do, no matter what you're telling yourself, it just doesn't feel safe in your body, but you probably don't even realize that it's not feeling safe in your body. Maybe you start your week with a jam-packed calendar and zero white space. That tells me that you're not feeling safe to be in your own presence, to have the silence, that you are uncomfortable with that white space. And maybe you say yes to projects that drain you just to keep the cash flowing. And by Friday, you're exhausted, you're still behind, and you secretly are worried about next month won't be as good as maybe the one before. Or maybe it's like 2 or 3 months at a time and you're like, oh my gosh, I had that really good high. What is going on? What is wrong with me? You feel trapped in this hustle. I get it. I was once there. It's like you can't step away without everything falling apart. And that's when I show up. Here's something that I need you to realize, that underneath it all of this conditioning, all of this self-talk, is that you picked up certain thought patterns. Like, if I slow down, the money will stop. I have to work harder than everyone else to deserve success. Or maybe you tell yourself, good moms don't let their businesses take over, so I'll just keep sacrificing myself instead. So what that means is you don't take care of your health, mental, physical, emotional, and you prioritize your business. The truth is that more hustle does not equal more success. In fact, over the long term, it has the opposite effect. Because physiologically, what you're doing is you're creating a lot of stress on your prefrontal cortex. And so that's a heavy load on your brain. When you are so stressful, it literally prohibits you from making clear, rational decisions in your business, and that takes you further away from success. What you actually need is an aligned system and a regulated body, not another 12-hour workday. When your business is structured where it supports you and your body feel safe, consistent income becomes the natural byproduct. Now, a lot of times people don't understand, like, wait a minute, when my body feels safe, when my energy is aligned. Let me give you some more details about what I mean specifically. So when our body is not regulated, what ends up happening is that our emotions take over and cloud our judgment. So what may look like I'm going to go do this, like I might need to go update my website and make sure the copy is perfect, make sure the graphics perfect. Like, we don't think that that's fear, but that is somewhere where we are bypassing the fear and all the uncomfortable things by just piling on busy work, which in actuality, what we need to do is feel safe in our body to do the money-making activities like more direct sales or having those conversations or prospecting, talking to more people. But instead, because our body feels unsafe, it creates this illusion that if we do these activities, which are really busy work, then we are creating momentum. But that's not the case. Hey, are you thinking about launching a podcast or taking yours to the next level? Juliana Barbati and her team are the experts you need. They take care of everything from episode funnel design to production and marketing, so you can focus on creating content that connects. Check out julianabarbati.com and mention I sent you. Now, you're probably asking yourself right now, Vanessa, if you're telling me my inconsistent income and all the hustle that I'm doing and the feast and famine, all the things I'm experiencing is because I am not allowing myself to feel safe, what do I have to do? Inside my programs like the Profitable CEO Accelerator Mastermind or the Your Six-Figure Year Mini Mind, the focal point is creating a balanced work week. The balanced work week method is something that I created a few years ago when I was experiencing these things myself. I was in all hustle mode, staying up really late, implementing strategies, and then learning, and then waking up early. And I had a baby. My son was maybe a few months old while I was pivoting from a brick and mortar business to an online business. And so I was doing all the things, and I literally could not think straight so much that I was making these business decisions that kept me stuck. Meaning I kept telling myself, this is my goal. Yet I was buying courses and programs and things that weren't even in alignment with that. Let me give you an example. I told myself that I wanted to master having a Facebook community because that's where I wanted to nurture my audience and use as my lead gen system. But then I went and I bought courses on how to grow your Instagram, how to do YouTube, how to do all these other things. And I literally did not even put two and two together what I was doing. I just felt like I needed to do something, and I was throwing money at it. And so that was not acting from clarity. That was really acting from hustle mode and a lack of resources, or just a scarcity mindset. And so what I did was, and just it was like a happenstance thing, was that I remember sitting at my desk and my intuition was like, just get up, go rest, just give this a break. I was building a funnel at that time. And so I did. I was like, okay, with much resistance, I was like, I don't even know how this is going to help me. But that changed the whole trajectory of my business. I went to our gym, Lifetime Fitness. They have a beautiful pool outside. It felt like a resort-like pool. And it was during a time where the kids were at school. So there were no kids, adults only, and it was very relaxing. I remember just disconnecting and really reading a book and allowing myself to not think about work. And all of a sudden, I realized that the funnel I was trying to build, the direction I was trying to go to was not meant for me. And that is when I came up with the balanced work week, to have a goddess day, to reset, to regulate my nervous system, to tap into creativity and inspiration. That was just one day of the whole balanced work week. It also includes having a CEO day and a doer day, but more on that in other episodes, or go back to some of the past episodes and you can learn more about what I mean about those days. But the first step I would recommend is implementing this balanced work week method. It is going to be your weekly reset. So I told you that part of the balanced work week is having a goddess day. We're going to go a little bit more in depth on that one today. And so within your goddess day, I want you to think of it as a weekly reset. Now, the goddess day is for nervous system regulation. It is for a time for you to work on your inner world as well as your outer world. When I say outer world, I really mean pampering yourself with maybe getting a massage, or I like to go get blowouts every other week. So I'll go to a place here, they'll blow dry my hair, style it up. I feel good. I feel like I'm taking time for myself. And then sometimes I will just go walk on the beach, or I'll meditate, or just hang out outside. The idea is that I get to slow down and tap into higher levels of consciousness, clear my mind, because when I disconnect from the noise, I can actually hear my intuition. So the goddess day, think of it again as your weekly reset. During this time, especially when you're new to this, you can, 1, start brain dumping everything swirling around in your head and on your plate. One of the resources that I have available at the Aligned Businesswoman Shopify store, and you can also get it on Amazon, is my practical manifestation journal. So I use the practical manifestation journal prompts with ChatGPT so I can speak my brain dump into ChatGPT without being slowed down or anything from the typing. And so I'm doing this brain dump. Included in that brain dump is not only my to-do list, but the emotions I desire to feel, because when you lock into those emotions that fuel you and motivate you, you can have better emotions as you're taking action. I also brain dump in there the thoughts that I want to practice, the supportive thoughts that I want to be able to think about and motivate me to keep on going. Because a lot of times we can subscribe to negative self-talk and no one wants that in their brain. It's like I was on a call today with a client. I told her, if you are talking to yourself like that, I want you to take that voice out and personify it, put it in someone else's voice. Would you still want to be around that person? No. So therefore, part of that brain dump is, what are the thoughts that I want to practice? Because we're reprogramming your subconscious mind, right? We're establishing new neural pathways. So pair the practical manifestation journal, write the prompts out, or, you can journal on the prompts. What I like to do at first, as you're getting used to this exercise, is that when you write out your answers, you get into a stream of consciousness, especially when you're not distracted. You allow yourself some time, maybe some quiet music, some soothing music, and getting into the journal exercise, answering with pen inside your practical manifestation journal is going to help you get started. And then speaking that into ChatGPT. Then once you get used to allowing yourself just to flow like that and without editing and not filtering yourself, then you can start to notice patterns in your ChatGPT. But that's another episode for another time. But just so you know, your weekly reset, brain dump everything going on in your mind, including your emotions that you want to feel and maybe what you're feeling instead, right? We want to focus really on where we want to go, the thoughts that you want to have, and then who you want to be, because your identity is going to influence all these other things. Because if you see yourself as someone that takes action, well, then you're going to take action, right? One of my mentors says this analogy, and I think it's so wonderful. When you believe that's who you are, you're just a person that takes action. You're just a person that is organized. You're just a person that achieves a certain level of success. Then that's what the standard you hold yourself to, right? Well, her analogy is that a vegan or a vegetarian is not going to have a bad day and be like, oh, I'm going to eat a cheeseburger. So the same thing applies for whenever you see yourself as someone that is resilient or that achieves whatever it is that you want to achieve or embodies the traits that you want to embody to receive and have the things that you desire. You're just not going to let that derail. You're not going to let bad habits derail you. You're going to stay focused. You're going to keep on moving and you're going to overcome things. The next thing is that when you do your brain dump, circle only the tasks that move revenue forward. Okay. We're going to get out of the trance of being in busy work all the time, thinking that if we tinker with Canva or refining our strategy over and over again. I know that I have been a person who once would just keep planning and never implementing. That is not going to get us to the revenue that we desire. That is just keeping us busy. So let's focus only on what is going to move revenue forward by circling the tasks. So a lot of times your brain dump is going to be like all the things that you think that you need to do, right? Well, be honest with yourself. Are those really something you need to do? Or you're just hiding behind those things because they feel more comfortable? The third thing is that we get to plug the tasks that you're selecting are a priority that move the revenue forward and put it in your calendar. One of the other days of the balanced work week is the doer day. The doer day is where you are executing your plan. You're taking action. So whether you are prospecting to get a sales call or you're delivering a sales call or you're delivering the service or product for your client, it is directly related to you earning money. That's the day where you're going to plug in these tasks. Now, if one of the tasks, because I understand sometimes we do have to have planning so that we can execute, we have that clarity. If one of the tasks is more like planning like that or anything that you need to do strategic planning for, then that's going to be in your doer day slot. Simply doing this weekly reset is going to give you some breathing room because we're taking all of that stuff rolling around in your mind, all those thoughts, we're putting it on paper and we're prioritizing based off of what is going to bring that revenue in. You see, there was a study done that showed kids that were grown up in poverty, they had less gray matter in their prefrontal cortex. The reason why, financial stress actually reduces the gray matter in your prefrontal cortex. So with all that being said, if you're stressed out because you're not making money, what is going on underneath the surface is that you're creating more stress on your prefrontal cortex, like I mentioned earlier. but you're actually changing the structure of your brain to make it harder for you to make the savvy business decisions. Then all of this kind of snowballs, right? Because you're doing busy work that is not making you money. It's causing financial stress. It's having an impact on the structure of your brain, the part of your brain that needs reason and logic so you can make savvy business decisions that are about making money and making an impact. You see how it creates a snowball effect? It goes around and around in a circle. Simply doing this is going to help that part and just alleviate the stress from your mind. It will reduce the mental load that is bogging you down. I want you to imagine this. You do this weekly reset, maybe just one time. Maybe you do it for 4 weeks in a row. And then you start to notice that when you open your laptop, you know exactly what to do and what matters most. Or even better yet, imagine that you close your laptop for family dinner without guilt, or even your business occupying your mind the entire time. So you can actually be present and engage in the conversation. And because you did this weekly reset, you're able to see what was so important that you needed to do now to free up your time in the future. So that helped you set up systems for you to be able to bring in more clients without you being tied to your phone 24/7. No more scrambling, no more burnout, just you being able to actually enjoy life, being present while still earning money, while still serving clients and making an impact. So if this episode resonated with you, I want you to take my free quiz, What's Your Business Energetic Archetype? Because it's going to reveal to you some patterns that are running underneath the surface that might be limiting you, but it'll also reveal to you some things that you should lean into that are your strengths. When you take the quiz, you're also going to get some resources to help you take your first step to attracting clients in a way that feels really good, sustainable, and doable. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Aligned Businesswoman podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Ann Miller, and I'm so excited to share some goodies with you. Head over to the show notes so you can grab your free gift and make sure to leave a review and join me inside the Aligned Businesswoman Facebook group. Until next week, bye-bye, my love. Loving these podcasts? Want to take things deeper? Did you know I was able to grow my business by 3,000% in less than 1 year? By strategically setting up my business and my schedule for success. Check out my free download, How to Write an Energetically Aligned Business Plan, where I take you through the routines and rituals that set me up for success. You'll be able to discover what has helped my clients double their revenue in 90 days and what helped me grow my business by 3,000% in less than 1 year. Visit vanessaandmiller.com/CEO-day.